everyone. Welcome to Keeping It Real. I'm Nikki Shelton, and I'm here with Kerri. How are you doing, Kerri?
I'm doing good, but for some reason your camera doesn't seem to be working today.
My
I can't
camera's not
see
working.
you.
I see me, huh? How weird.
Interesting. All right.
Really? Okay. Well, and no one wants to see me today anyway. Just know that I'm here talking, and for some reason I can't see me. But okay. So, well, this is very interesting. I don't know what happened. Okay, so we're going to talk today about our Native neighbors, how they can take advantage of special programs and that are used to buy a home and make home ownership possible. So this is kind of a cool one for our people like up in Suquamish who are on like the Native American territory, correct? So it's a little different. And so we're going to go through and talk about why. So if you can't see me, I apologize. I'm really here today. I'm trying to learn about AI and I'm thinking I'm going to do something like that in my future, but I'm here for real. So that's why it's not working probably. Okay. So, before looking at homes, it's important to understand sovereignty because the tribal lands have their own rules, and so it works a little bit different. The appraisals, how the approvals work, everything is just a little bit different, because the most important thing about this is that when you're buying on a tribal land, you're not doing a fee simple. And in real estate, that's real estate terms. What that means is you don't really actually get to own the land. It's more of a lease. So they call it a leasehold in real estate terms. And so what happens is the land is actually held in a trust by the federal government for the benefit of the individual of the tribe or the Native American owner. So you usually have, and it's not always, it depends on what it's approved or what's agreed to as far as how long the leasehold is. I know here in Suquamish, I think a lot of times it's like 99 years, but sometimes it could be 50 years. It just really depends. And again, it's by the approval of their tribe. So anyway, so it just kind of affects things a little bit different. And we're going to go through and we're going to talk about some of the loans that we can, that are available. So the first one is a Section 184 loan. And this is designed for the Native buyers. It has a really low, I should let you talk about this one because because you're going to talk about the loans. I'm sorry, I'm going on Kerri's part.
Oh, no, that's okay. You actually studied a little bit more than I did. This is a great product, but unfortunately, I've never had the opportunity to utilize it before. I would love to do one someday. But yeah, the great thing about these loan programs is that they offer such a lower entry level into the pricing part of it, where you can come in with as little as 2.5% down, which is a huge thing. And another big thing is you don't have to have private mortgage insurance. So that could add several $100s to your loan to your monthly payment if you need to have private mortgage insurance. And most people have to have that if they put less than 20% down. So that's a huge savings.
Yes. So anyway, so that was the first one. And then there are federal ones too available. And there's one called the IHBG. They have these crazy names.
It's the Indian Housing Block Grant.
Thank you. I knew I could talk today. I don't know why.
I'm cheating. I'm looking at notes.
Okay. So this one, and then there's another one too. I forgot what it's called, IBA or something like that. And I don't have that one on here in the notes and I don't know where it went. It's weird. Okay. But anyway, there's a couple different ones that the federal government does, and it does help like with repairs, I believe. And it helps with, like down payment assistance, that kind of things, that kind of stuff that goes through the federal. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah. You can actually build a home with it and do a rehab, which is really nice.
Exactly. Okay, perfect. And then they also have the state programs, correct, which we talked about before. I'm going to be quiet here because I'm just messing up my words and not getting them right. So I'll let you talk about this. What's our state program? Because we do have a really great one here in Washington State. I know it's pretty new though, right?
Yes, it is, just within the last year. And here you're going to jinx me with your word scrambles. It's actually called the Covenant Home Ownership Program through Washington State Housing and Finance Commission. and it helps people, indigenous people. Also, we've talked about it in the past that any people of color, anything one that has been discriminated against in the past, is someone who would be eligible for that program. And the great thing is you can borrow up to 20% down payment. And then they are coming out with a new part of it where after a certain amount of on-time payments, a certain amount of years of on-time payments, that loan actually is going to become forgivable. So that is a huge thing.
Okay, perfect. And
So
then there's
that's new
also,
news.
and then the tribes also have programs too, and they have grants. And I think they can do, and you can combine some of these. From what I've been reading about it, again, I really haven't, I guess, done one either on a tribal land before. I mean, I know a lot about it because I studied like for real estate and stuff, but I really haven't done one either. But this one is, I mean, the tribal ones, they have like it's like a housing kind of place or whatever that you can go to, and they will help walk you through the different, like the Section 184. They will help you figure out how to, they can help do like grants, like I said, down payment assistance and stuff like that. So it really kind of helps. And they also have some reduced interest loans, I think, too. So,
and the great thing about doing in that housing counseling is that it really prepares you for home ownership, because when you're not renting anymore, you're responsible if the pipes burst, if the refrigerator breaks down. Those are expenses that you don't normally think about. And so those programs really help you get into the right mind frame of being a homeowner.
okay, perfect. So, I mean, definitely if if you're, our native neighbor, please reach out to those guys because they do have a lot of information, and a lot of times they can help and kind of give you some ideas on what the programs are, because there were quite a few out there. So that's kind of cool. Okay.
Yes. And here's the other one you said, the IHP, Indian Housing Plan.
Thank you. I knew I had that on there and I lost
it. You did. Yes. And here's the thing, I've never done one of these, but my whole thing is I'm never scared of a challenge. So I will always research things as much as I can in order to get the best for my loan borrowers. So
perfect. And I haven't had to deal with a loan for one of those, so I don't know really either, but I do know what I studied, and that's all right there. And then I somehow can't even find my notes. So
I'm just, well, you're being
down this one. But I guess the main thing with this is it's really, really important to know that there are a lot of different loans and that kind of things that you can go through to get assistance and to get in homes. And they're not always for Native Americans. And it's not true of all land either. Like I said, some of them are fee simple and some of them are the leaseholds. The majority of them or in the tribal area is leaseholds, because they don't, you're leasing the land pretty much, is kind of what you're doing in a weird way. Not leasing it, but they're holding it for you, but you're not doing that. But, anyway, sorry. Yes.
I did learn that we cannot do a reverse mortgage on Indian property because since you don't own the land, you are not able to do a reverse mortgage. They can't count the value of the property. And that's one of the things about the appraisals that's different too, is that you're only basing the appraisal on the home itself, not the land.
Right. So those are some of the differences. And that's kind of what this one's about too, is that and it's different because, like I said, the fee simple is that's where you actually own the land versus not. So when an appraisal goes out there in a normal situation, like most of the homes across the country, they're going out and they're evaluating the value of the land and the home. And with an appraisal on a leasehold land, obviously they're not doing the land, it's just the home. And right. Another important thing too to know, just in case, and it's not with all of them, but sometimes it depends on what your contract says. But once you get your approval and you go through the tribe, I do know this, that if they allowed you, like, let's say, to build a house, you might have it in your contract that says, especially in older contracts, they're not doing as much lately, but in older contracts, if you have something like that, they will say you have to tear down the home to make it go back to the original of what the land was before you bought it. So wow. Let's say you go and build $1 million home because you have a really nice view, right? And so you're sitting there on this beautiful cliff and you're having this gorgeous view of the water and your lease is up. They may tell you, or it might be in your contract, that you have to tear down that $1 million home because they want the land back in the original or the original condition it was bought in. So keep that in mind too. So there are some differences. If you
Read the fine print.
right, exactly, always. And if you have to do like repairs and stuff, that can also you might have to get a permit you might have to go like to the tribe to get a permit, to get their approval to do some repairs or to add or build something. So they have a lot of different rules, and it's really important to know, to be aware of all that when you are purchasing a home on tribal land.
Most definitely.
So anyway, so I do know my real estate stuff. I don't know your stuff, but I know my stuff. And it's hard when you haven't had to do it before, but I do know like a lot of weird stuff. But anyway, that's what I know today. You guys, as always, I have to give a shout out to Pixabay for their music today. I kind of like the flute in the background. I thought it was really pretty.
Nice. Yeah.
I know, right?
Anyway,
you guys, that's how you get in touch with us. We'd love to help, and we will see you next time. Say you can place. Bye, everyone.
Bye.